With the NFL season quickly approaching, the Cleveland Browns are one of those mystery teams that are super unpredictable and have the potential to be one of the best teams in the league, but could also very easily underperform and let everyone down, as they usually do. I've made a lot of videos about this team over the last few months, but training camp is almost here and there is just so much to talk about. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down why I think the Browns have the talent to make some noise in the 2023 season and just how they can do it. But before I begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. I'm on the road to 20k subscribers and we are just growing super fast right now. So starting off this video, I want to go into detail on Deshaun Watson because the media hasn't talked about him, and really outside of huge fans, nobody knows much at all. I know it's only camp right now and we're going to have to see it on the field, but according to most of the Cleveland coaching staff, he's looked incredible so far and the ball just zips out of his hand. I mean, just look at how smooth this throw all the way down the field that he made was. The Browns are gonna need Watson to be a top 5 to 10 QB in the league in order for them to have a chance to win it all, because obviously in today's game, the quarterback is by far the most important position, and Cleveland put all their eggs in that basket, and they're paying Deshaun a ridiculous amount of money. Alright, switching gears, now I want to talk about Nick Chubb, because in my opinion, he's a top 3 running back in the league, and if you watch my channel at all, then you know how important I think he is to the team. And for Chubb, this will be his first full season with Deshaun Watson, which is going to be fun to watch because defenses will have to pick and choose what they focus on, and if Chubb can continue to be an almost automatic first down every time he touches the ball, along with the constant rushing ability that Watson has, I really do think that this can be one of the best offenses in the league if Kevin Stefanski can figure out his play calling for a full game, because last year the Browns were the best first drive team in the league because all those plays were scripted, but then after that, Kevin would completely lose the feel for the game, and I don't even think you guys can argue with that. But anyways, besides that, one of the main areas of this Browns team that is extremely slept on is their wide receiving core. They just have so much depth at this position after some of the offseason moves, and I think they have a top 5 receiving core in the league, at least for this year, while they still have Amari Cooper. And speaking of Cooper, he's one of the best route runners and one of the more underrated guys in the league, and last season with 2 different QBs, he put up 1,160 yards with 9 touchdowns, and he averaged 15 yards per catch. Around Cooper will be Elijah Moore, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Marquise Goodwin, Cedric Tillman, and David Bell. I really think Elijah Moore is going to have a breakout season because last year with the Jets, he didn't have consistent QB play, and I think he's going to bond with Watson, and with Cooper likely headed somewhere else in the future, he could even become the wide receiver 1 if things work out the way they seem they will. On paper, the Browns truly do have one of the best all-around rosters in the NFL, and I know we say this every year, but it's about time that we get some results, or else this team is going to be back to square one. And also, before I move over to the defensive side of things, I gotta talk about the offensive line because it's one of the most important positions, especially with the Browns' play style. Heading into 2023, Cleveland has the second best line in the whole league according to PFF, and the guy I'm going to be keeping my eye on the most this year is Jedrick Wills because this is a big season that could determine the rest of his career. So basically, this offense is completely stacked with almost no holes, and if they struggle this year, then I think some investigating needs to be done because mathematically, there's just no possible way for them to be bad. Alright, now moving over to the defensive side of things, Andrew Berry made some massive changes from last year because at times the defense was putrid and they just made some mistakes that can't be made at the NFL level. After that Jets game where the Browns blew a 2-possession lead in 2 minutes after allowing a Hail Mary touchdown with blown coverage, I think everyone had given up on Woods. Anyways, the Browns ended up hiring Jim Schwartz from the Eagles, and I don't think he's gonna magically fix this defense, but after some of the recent moves, he has a lot to work with, and I'm just gonna get right into some of the moves, starting with the front 7. So first off, the most important hole that Andrew Berry filled was the interior line because last season, running backs were having a field day against this team and nobody could stop them. Early on this offseason, the Browns signed Dalvin Tomlinson to a massive 4-year, $57 million contract, and his ability to help stop the run is going to be a game changer. And also on that line, the Browns signed Okoronkwo to a 3-year deal and traded for Zadarius Smith. So Cleveland should have no problem with the line anymore, and Myles Garrett shouldn't have to face as many double teams as in previous years. And also, one thing I want to point out that I think everyone has noticed is how much Garrett is held, and it's almost unfair how flags are never thrown. But that's on the NFL, and they've always had something against this team for whatever reason, and it's only going to get worse with Watson now leading the team. But all of that stuff is out of the players' control, and they just need to focus on what they can control. One big change I think Jim Schwartz is going to make to this defense is in the locker room, because he's a big tough dude who has tons of experience and has Super Bowl rings, so nobody's going to be able to talk back to him, and I think he's going to have full control of the room the whole entire season. One thing that I also haven't talked about yet that really hurt the Browns last year was injuries, and they just piled up week after week. I'm not sure what the problem was that caused all this. Hopefully it was just bad luck and wasn't that Cleveland has injury-prone players, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on this season. Anyways, I've been way too negative, so now let's focus on some of the positives and move on to the secondary because there were some upgrades. First off, at safety, Juan Thornhill was brought over from the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, and I think this was a great move because he obviously now has the experience of what it takes to win, and in 2022, he had 3 interceptions, 9 pass deflections, and 43 tackles. At corner, the Browns will now have a healthy Denzel Ward, along with Greg Newsome and Martin Emerson, who really proved himself last year when he had the opportunity. At linebacker, this team will be led by Jock, Anthony Walker, and Sione Takitaki, and there's also a few playable guys behind them. Overall, like I've said many times, I think the Browns have one of the best all-around rosters in the entire league, and this is the season that they've got to break through and do some damage in the AFC. But for now, this is all talk, and I can't wait to see it all unfold on the field in less than 8 weeks. That's really all I have to say for this video. Let me know in the comments below how you guys are feeling about this Browns team heading into the upcoming season, and drop your record predictions. I feel like many people forget just how good Deshaun Watson was when he was in Houston, and he led them to the playoffs without much talent around him, so I can't even imagine what he would do with this roster. And last season did not count and can't be held against him because he hadn't played in over a year and a half, so it made sense why he was rusty. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point in the video, and if you enjoyed and haven't yet, make sure to drop a like and subscribe because your support truly means the world. With the NFL season quickly approaching, there is just so much to talk about, so let me know what you would like to see next. But until then, I will see you all later.